Let me tell you a little secret. Turning 70 doesn't mean life gets smaller. Actually, if you do it right, it becomes more meaningful. Many people think that happiness fades as we age, but that's not true. It just starts to look different. Today, I want to share something special with you. 12 things that the happiest women over 70 do every single day. These are simple habits that bring them joy, peace, and a deep sense of freedom. Now, I wasn't always this joyful. My 60s were tough. My energy felt different, my social circle grew smaller, and honestly, I started to wonder if my best years were behind me. But slowly, day by day, something changed. I began making small choices, tiny habits that brought light back into my life. This isn't about pretending to be young or forcing a fake smile. It's about real, meaningful practices that are grounded in wisdom, self-love, and emotional strength. Whether you're 60, 75, or 85, these habits can help you wake up with purpose and go to bed with peace. Some are so simple you'll smile. Others might surprise you. But all of them together? They're powerful. So, if you're ready to feel a little brighter, come with me. Let's talk about the 12 daily habits of truly happy women over 70. Let's begin where every day begins, the morning. How you start your day can shape everything that follows. The happiest women over 70 don't begin their mornings by checking their phones or rushing into chores. Instead, they start with a moment of calm. Not a perfect routine. Not a strict list of tasks. Just a peaceful ritual that sets the tone for the day. Now don't worry. This doesn't have to be anything fancy. It's not about waking up at 5 a.m. and doing yoga and journaling for 2 hours. It can be as simple as opening the blinds, lifting your hands to the sky, and whispering a little prayer. Thank you for this new day. Some mornings, I write down a few things I want to focus on. Other days, I just sit quietly with a cup of tea and listen to the birds. The point is, this small act of stillness reminds me that I'm alive, that this day is a gift. And why is that important? Because how we begin our day often shapes how we feel for the rest of it. A calm, mindful morning lowers stress and brings a feeling of control, something that can feel rare when our bodies and routines become less predictable. So even just 3 peaceful minutes can change everything. Light a candle. Stretch your arms. Say a quiet prayer. Start your morning with intention, and you'll feel more centered all day. Once the morning begins with calm, the next habit invites movement and light, stepping outside to breathe in the world around you. Have you ever stepped outside in the early morning, taken a deep breath, and instantly felt better? That's no coincidence. Happy women over 70 make it a point to get some fresh air every single day, no matter the weather. You don't need to climb mountains or take long hikes. Just stepping outside, sitting on your porch, or opening a window wide and breathing deeply makes a difference. Fresh air does wonders for your health. It lowers blood pressure, boosts your immune system, and gives your energy a natural lift. Even more, sunshine helps increase serotonin, that lovely hormone that boosts your mood and brings mental clarity. And don't forget vitamin D. As we age, it becomes even more important for our bones and our brain. So just 15 minutes outside can be a powerful act of self-care. Some mornings, I sit in my little garden, sipping tea, watching the birds flutter around. Other days, I take a slow walk to the end of the block and back. It doesn't take much, but it feels like therapy. You don't need perfect health or a fancy backyard. Just open your window. Feel the air. Let the world remind you that you're still here, and that matters. As your body wakes up in the sunlight, your mind starts to feel more alive too. And that leads us to the next habit, keeping your curiosity alive. With your senses awakened, it's time to turn inward, to the mind. Happy women never stop wondering or exploring. Here's something I've noticed about the happiest women I know. They never stop being curious. They keep learning, exploring, and asking questions. Now, this doesn't mean going back to school or studying something difficult, unless you want to, of course. It's about staying mentally open. It could be reading an article, listening to a podcast, or asking your grandchild how their phone works, and actually trying to understand it. Curiosity keeps our brains sharp and our spirits alive. Scientists say the brain is like a muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it stays. Lifelong learning helps delay memory loss, improve emotional well-being, and even reduce the risk of cognitive decline. When I turned 72, I decided to really learn how to use YouTube. Not just watch videos, but explore it. My granddaughter showed me how, and now I follow cooking shows, travel vlogs, and even a woman my age who teaches watercolor painting. It made my world feel bigger again. You don't need to be tech-savvy or bookish. Just ask yourself, what's one thing I'd love to know more about today? Maybe it's how to grow herbs, the story behind a painting on your wall, or a recipe you've never tried before. That little spark of curiosity can light up your whole day. And when you learn something new, it changes how you feel inside. More confident, more awake, more proud of yourself. And that feeling shows. It shows in how you talk, how you walk, and even how you dress. After filling your mind, happy women turn to how they present themselves, not for others, but as a form of self-love. Let's clear something up. This isn't about dressing up for other people. It's about showing up for yourself. The happiest women over 70 care about how they present themselves, even if no one else will see them that day. They dress with care because they know it sends a message to their brain. I matter. It's not about following trends or being fancy. It's about intention. What you wear affects how you feel, your posture, your confidence, even your mood. I'll tell you something funny. Every Sunday, even if I'm watching church from my living room, I put on my favorite pearl earrings. No one sees them, but it reminds me that this day matters, that I matter. On days when I feel a little off, I reach for something colorful, a scarf, a bright top, and it lifts my spirits. You don't need a new wardrobe. Just ask yourself, how do I want to feel today? Then pick something that reflects that feeling, cozy, fresh, bold, calm. Let your clothes quietly celebrate the beautiful life you're living. And when you dress with care, something else naturally changes, the way you speak. As we start to notice how we present ourselves, the next shift happens in our words. What we say out loud can shape how we feel inside. One of the biggest lessons I've learned, and it took me years, is the quiet power of not complaining. The happiest women I know in their 70s don't talk about their problems all the time, even though they have plenty. They choose their focus carefully. It's not because their lives are perfect. Far from it. They have health challenges, loss, and moments of frustration like anyone else. But they've realized something important. The more you talk about what's wrong, the bigger it feels. And the more you notice what's good, the lighter life becomes. I used to start every phone call with a list of aches, bad news, and complaints. My knees hurt, the weather's awful, the news is worse. But one day, a dear friend said softly, "I miss hearing you talk about your garden." That one sentence hit me hard. I realized I had let my voice carry too much negativity. So I began changing it slowly. Psychologists call this negativity bias. Our brains naturally focus on the bad, but we can retrain them. We can gently guide ourselves to talk more about what's right than what's wrong. Now, when I feel tempted to complain, I pause. I ask myself, is this helping me feel better? Or is it keeping me stuck? Then I try to shift. Maybe I mention the bird I saw this morning, or the smell of fresh coffee, or a good memory. This small shift doesn't ignore problems. It simply refuses to let them steal all the joy. And when we stop feeding complaints, something else beautiful can grow. Once the mind is lighter, the body wants to follow. Happy women know that movement isn't about age. It's about aliveness. Women over 70 who are joyful don't chase six-pack abs or try to keep up with younger people at the gym. But they do move. Every single day. And they move with love. Because here's the truth. Motion is medicine. You don't need fancy gear or perfect joints. You just need to move what you can, however you can, and keep doing it as long as you're able. Even a short stroll around your home, 10 minutes of gentle stretching, or dancing in the kitchen while making breakfast, it all counts. Research shows that daily movement reduces joint pain, improves balance, strengthens the heart, and even helps memory. And it's not just about staying fit. It's about protecting your independence, lifting your mood, and reminding your body you're still needed. I'll be honest, some mornings I wake up stiff, and it's tempting to skip it. But then I remember, This body has carried me through 7 decades. It deserves care.
So I stretch.
I breathe deeply. I take a slow walk. And every time I feel better, start small. Walk to your mailbox. Do arm circles. March in place while brushing your teeth. Movement isn't a punishment. It's a gift to your future self. And when your body feels alive, it brings your spirit back to life too. And that spirit? It's often lifted even higher by the people around us. After moving your body, it's time to move your heart toward others. Because joy grows stronger when it's shared. There's a quiet kind of loneliness that can sneak in as we get older. It doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just lingers in the background. The happiest women over 70 know this, and they don't let it stay for long. Every single day, they reach out. They make space for connection. It doesn't have to be a party or a crowd. Sometimes it's as simple as a smile at the grocery store, a quick call to a sister, or a friendly hello to the neighbor next door. These tiny moments matter more than we realize. Science shows that loneliness in older adults increases the risk of memory loss, depression, and even heart problems. But connection, real, simple connection, can change everything. Each morning, I send a voice message to my dear friend Martha. Sometimes I say a little prayer. Sometimes I share a funny thought. It's only a minute long, but it reminds both of us. We're not alone.
You don't need to be outgoing.
Just be intentional.
Call someone.
Send a text. Join a walking group or write a handwritten letter. Every small connection is like a light turning on in your world. And the more we connect with others, the more we discover something else, a deeper, quieter connection within ourselves. When we nourish our hearts through connection, the next natural step is to nourish our bodies, not with restriction, but with care. Happy women over 70 don't treat meals like a chore. They treat them as moments to pause, breathe, and refuel. They eat with intention. That doesn't mean they follow strict diets or count every calorie. It means they listen to their bodies. They slow down, chew mindfully, and choose foods that bring both health and comfort. As we age, our digestion changes. Our bones, brains, and energy need more support. That means more whole foods, colorful vegetables, healthy fats, good proteins, and plenty of water. But also pleasure. Food should still be enjoyed. I used to rush through meals, thinking about the next task or watching TV.
Now I sit down.
I smell the food. I taste it. I chew slowly. I say a small thank you. And suddenly, eating feels like a celebration again. If this feels new to you, don't worry. Just start small. Add one more veggie to your plate. Drink a glass of water before meals.
Put down your fork between bites.
These tiny changes can help your digestion, your mood, and even your sleep. When we feed our bodies with care, our whole being responds. And the energy that comes from that, it's what fuels everything else, including the next habit, which touches the heart in a powerful way. Once the body is cared for, the happiest women turn inward. They know that true joy doesn't come just from what we do, but from how we feel inside. Happiness after 70 isn't only about movement, connection, or food. It's also about tending to something deeper, the spirit. The most peaceful and joyful women I've met nourish their spirit every single day. Now, what that looks like depends on the person. For some, it's prayer. For others, it might be quiet time in nature, journaling, painting, or simply sitting in stillness with a warm drink. The key is this: they make space for meaning. They create moments that fill them with calm, gratitude, and a sense of purpose. And that, more than anything, helps them stay emotionally strong. Studies show that people who feel spiritually connected, whether to faith, nature, creativity, or a bigger purpose, tend to be more resilient, more hopeful, and more content. For me, it's those quiet early mornings, sipping tea by the window, saying a small prayer before the world wakes up. It reminds me to slow down, to breathe, to be. Whatever speaks to your soul, make time for it. Let it ground you. Let it remind you of who you are. Because when your spirit feels full, everything else becomes easier. And as our hearts grow lighter, we're ready for the next life-changing habit: forgiveness. When your spirit is nourished, it becomes easier to let go of old weight, the kind that doesn't show up on a scale, but in the heart. The happiest women over 70 carry something powerful in their hearts: forgiveness. Not because it's easy, not because they weren't hurt, but because they've learned that holding on to anger, regret, or blame only brings more pain. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about freeing yourself from it. It's about saying, I will no longer carry this weight with me every day. I once held on to an old hurt for years. Every time I thought about it, I felt angry all over again. But eventually I realized it wasn't changing what happened. It was just stealing my peace. So I started a new habit. Every morning I whispered, I forgive them. I forgive me. Not because I had to, because I wanted to feel free. And it worked. Slowly, the pain softened. The memory stopped controlling me. I became lighter. Forgiveness is a gift, not to them, but to you. Even forgiving yourself for past mistakes can change your life. Start with one small thought, one moment of grace. Over time, it opens space for peace to return. And that peace? It makes room for something even more joyful: laughter. Once the heart is lighter, it's easier to laugh, and the happiest women choose to laugh often. Laughter isn't just a reaction. It can be a decision, a daily habit. And women who stay joyful in their later years don't wait around for something funny to happen. They seek it out. They create it.
Why?
Because laughter is healing. It lowers stress. It boosts happy hormones. It relaxes the body and lightens the mind. It reminds us that life, even with its ups and downs, is still beautiful. When things feel heavy, laughter can feel like a deep breath, a reset. Sometimes I'll call a friend just to share a funny story. Other times I watch a silly video or look at an old photo that makes me giggle. You don't have to be a comedian. You don't even need an audience. Just let yourself be light. Be playful. Dance in the kitchen. Make silly faces in the mirror. Watch your favorite comedy from decades ago. Read a funny book. The point is to laugh on purpose. And when you do, your whole energy shifts. Laughter fills the heart. But before the day ends, there's one final habit that brings it all together: gratitude. As the sun sets and the house grows quiet, the happiest women take one last moment, a moment to say thank you. Gratitude is their final habit. Every night, before sleep, they pause and reflect. They think about the day, not to dwell on what went wrong, but to honor what went right, no matter how small. A kind word, a peaceful moment, a favorite meal, a cozy blanket. The smallest blessings become treasures when you slow down and notice them. And here's the beautiful thing. Research shows that people who practice gratitude regularly sleep better, worry less, and wake up more hopeful. It literally rewires your brain to notice the good in life. Each night, I write down 3 things I'm thankful for. Sometimes they're big. Sometimes they're as simple as the sound of birds or the way the light hit my living room wall. This tiny habit, just a few quiet moments, ends my day with peace. It helps me sleep with a soft heart instead of a heavy one. You don't need a special journal. Just close your eyes, take a breath, and think, what made me smile today? Let that memory be your bedtime prayer. So there you have it, 12 habits that joyful women over 70 live by. Simple, gentle, powerful choices made every single day. Remember, happiness isn't something that just happens. It's something we practice. In our routines, in our thoughts, in how we treat ourselves and the world around us. It doesn't take big changes. It takes small, steady steps. A quiet morning ritual, a walk in the sun, a phone call, a laugh, a prayer. These little choices add up, creating a life full of beauty, peace, and purpose. So tomorrow, try just one. Maybe start your day with intention. Maybe reach out to someone. Or end your night with a simple thank you. And if this video brought you joy, please like, share, and subscribe so more women can find inspiration too. Let me know in the comments, which habit will you try first? I'd love to hear your story. Thank you for spending this time with me. Here's to your happiness, your health, and the beautiful road still ahead.